Not long ago, these jobs were everywhere. Today, most young people have never even seen them. Some of these professions fed entire families, but technology erased them almost overnight. Long before tap water reached every home, water came from streams, rivers, wells, and public standpipes. Every morning, water fetchers lifted heavy wooden yokes onto their shoulders and walked through busy streets with metal containers swinging at their sides. So from house to house, they delivered the water families needed to cook, bathe, and survive. It was so exhausting, but they never stopped. Then boreholes and pipe water became common, and one of the Nigerians' most familiar jobs quietly disappeared. Before computers and cyber cafes, every official letter began here. From job applications to government forms, skilled typists turn handwritten notes into neat documents, one stroke at a time. Then the sound of the typewriter echoed through offices across Nigeria until computers quietly brought this once respected profession to an end. Before mobile phones and social media, the town crier was the voice of the community, armed with nothing but a bell and a powerful voice. So he walked from the street to street, announcing the important messages from the village chief or king. And the moment people heard that familiar bell, they stopped whatever they were doing to listen. And in many African communities during the 1950s and the 1960s, the town crier wasn't just delivering news, it was the heartbeat of the village. But then, as technology began to change the world, the need for town criers slowly faded away. First came the radio, bringing news directly into people's homes. Then came televisions, newspapers, telephones, and eventually mobile phones and the internet. So messages that once took hours to spread could now reach thousands of people in just seconds. And as villages grew into towns and cities, faster and more reliable ways of communicating took over. Before long, the familiar sound of the town crier's bell had become a memory, a reminder of a time when one voice could keep an entire community connected. Before Netflix, before YouTube, and long before streaming, renting a video cassette was a weekend tradition for many families in Nigeria. So back then, video rental shops were everywhere. Wooden shelves were filled with hundreds of VHS cassettes, and customers spent time reading movie covers before choosing what to watch. So a shop attendant carefully recorded each rental in a notebook and reminded customers to return the cassette on time to avoid a late fee. So watching a movie wasn't as simple as pressing a button. You had to leave your house, walk to the rental shop, pick your favorite film and hurry back home before the whole family gather around the television. It made every movie night feel so special. But then technology changed everything. DVDs replaced VHS tapes, and soon after, streaming services and internet made it possible to watch thousands of movies instantly without leaving home. One by one, video rental shops closed their doors, bringing an end to a job and a tradition that many Nigerians still remember today. So before emails, text messages and mobile phones, the telegraph operator was one of the most important people in the communication system then. So every urgent message had to pass through their skilled hands using Morse code. They sent and received telegrams across cities and even countries in just minutes, something that was considered incredible at that time. So back then, telegraph offices were always busy. Operators listened carefully through their headphones, tapped out messages on telegraph keys, and delivered important news such as births, deaths, business deals, and emergency notice. For many families, Receiving a telegram meant something important had happened. So as the technology moved on, telephones became more common, followed by fax machines, mobile phones, emails, and the internet. So messages that once require a trained telegraph operator could now be sent instantly by anyone with a phone. One by one, telegraph offices closed and the telegraph operator became another unforgettable job from the past. So before you could dial a phone number yourself, there were telephone switchboard operators. So every long distance or intercity call depends on their skills and speed. So sitting in front of a large switchboard filled with hundreds of calls and flashing lights, they manually connected one call to another. So back then, all these operators worked in busy telephone exchange across Nigeria, making sure families, businesses and government offices stay connected. Every call require patience, concentration and accuracy. So a single mistake could connect you to wrong person or cut off an important conversation. But then technology changed everything. So automatic telephone exchanges replace manual switchboards, allowing people to dial number directly without an operator's help. And later came digital telephone networks, mobile phones and the internet. So the once busy switchboard rooms gradually fell silent and the telephone switchboard operator became another unforgettable profession from the past. Before diesel engines and electric trains, every steam locomotive depended on one hardworking man. That's the steam train fireman. So while the driver controlled the train, the fireman kept it alive by shoveling tons of coal into the blazing furnace. Without him, the train simply couldn't move. So these men worked long hours in the intense heat, covered in cold dust, as they kept the fire burning. Every shovel of coal produced the steam that carried the passengers, goods and mail across Nigeria. It was exhausting work, but it was one of the most important jobs on the railway. So technology changed everything. Diesel and electric locomotives replaced the steam engines, and the steam train fireman quietly disappeared, becoming another forgotten profession that helped build Nigeria's railway history. Before digital cameras and smartphones, every photograph began with a roll of film. So after birthdays, weddings, graduations or family gatherings, people would take their film to a photo developer and wait patiently to see their memories come to life. So back then, photo film developers worked in the dark rooms filled with trays of chemicals, hanging film strips and the familiar smell of photographic solution. So every negative had to be developed, washed, dried and printed by hand. E took skills, patience and experience, because one small mistake will run an entire roll of precious memory. But then technology changed everything. Digital cameras arrived, followed by smartphone that could instantly take and edit and share photos in seconds. So the once busy photo lab gradually disappeared and the photo film developer became another forgotten profession that captured the memories of the generation. So before good roads, reliable transport and instant communication, many rural communities depended on village mail runner. So with nothing but a leather mail bag filled with handwritten letters, so he walked from village to village delivering news that family had waited days and sometimes weeks to receive. So back then, every letter carried something important like a son's message from the city, a government notice, a school admission letter or news from a loved one living far away. So the arrival of the mail runner brought excitement to the entire village, because it wasn't just delivering letters, it was bringing hope, joy and sometimes life changing news. But as Nigeria road network improved, Postal vans, motorcycles and better transport reached more communities. Then came telephones, emails and eventually mobile phones, making communication almost instant. So the village mill runner gradually disappeared, becoming another forgotten profession that once connected rural communities across Nigeria. Before digital projectors and streaming, so every cinema depended on a film projectionist hidden away in a small projection room and carefully loaded massive 35 mm film reels, threaded the film through the projector and kept the movie running smoothly from beginning to the end. So back then, showing a film wasn't as simple as pressing a button. Every reel had to be changed at exactly the right moment, and if the film jammed or tore, the entire cinema could suddenly go dark. So it took patience, skills and years of experience to keep every audience entertained without interruption. So digital technology transformed the movie industry. Film reels disappeared, digital projectors replaced bulky machines, and movies could be played with just a few clicks. So the once essential film projectionist quietly faded into history, becoming another forgotten profession that brought the magic of cinema to generations of Nigerians. And so we have come to the end of today's journey into the past. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to Life Before Today and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next trip down the memory lane. We upload a brand new nostalgic story every Friday. Until next time, thank you for watching and let's keep our history alive.